Two high-profile school sexual assault cases in the news tonight. One is just starting as allegations surface against a high school security guard. The other at the end of the judicial process. A former South Christian high school teacher sentenced to at least 8 years in prison. Tonight, we're taking this story to the experts and looking at the impact these types of cases have on the vulnerable teenage victims.
24-hour News 8's Leon Hendricks is at the live desk looking at this tonight.
Good evening, Suzanne and Brian. One of the suspects was sentenced here at the Kent County Courthouse today. The other suspect is just starting his way through the judicial system. But for the victims, the impact of these crimes is forever.
It violates the very core of her sense of security.
Two suspects, the teacher, the security officer, two young victims, both teens. We heard from former South Christian High teacher James Volkema's victim in court.
If I had the chance to go back to the very beginning of things, I would have tried to stop it so it didn't have to play out this way. I don't know why I told my counselor.
Sounds familiar to Joe Martino, a therapist who deals with teens as part of his profession. Many who've been sexually abused by people they trusted.
The victim often blames themselves. It's one of the most insidious things, I think, with sexual abuse.
But these cases where the perp is an authority figure, Martino sees as worse, that run the risk of having longer and more damaging consequences.
What's your biggest issue when you're younger? Understanding your place in this world, understanding your security. And now the person who's supposed to be giving you your security is really messing with it.
The victims, he says, are in for a long road to healing. But even with professional help,
how long it impacts their life, I think, is forever.
And some of the impact may affect others.
We call it acting out in counseling. You know, they get into risky behaviors. They start, especially as they get older, because basically they feel like someone used them, and someone did use them.
He says one of the first steps to healing, though, will be getting the young victim past this.
I don't blame him. I don't hate him. I feel this was a more emotional and mental than criminal.
To realize that he or she is indeed a victim, one of the first steps for a counselor.
The fact that she doesn't recognize it, I think, just kind of shows how far the road is in front of her right now.
Now, as far as those two sex cases we're watching, Volkema heads to prison for between 8 and 40 years. The security guard from Godwin Heights, Kenneth Franks, has admitted to the allegations against him. For now, he is out on bond, but faces time in prison as well if he is convicted. We're now reporting live in downtown Grand Rapids, Leon Hendricks, 24-hour News 8.